Hi, my name is Steve, and for today I want to go through 3 different methods for making cold brew coffee and getting a comparison of what do I like, which one tastes better, what's easier to do, what's more challenging to do, what gives you more options to maybe experiment with some different types of coffee, different types of flavoring of coffee. So we're going to use the Aeropress to see. I've seen some different options on using the Aeropress. I have an option that is an immersion brew, and this is where you have a filter. So you put the grounds in there, you put this in the canister, you pour the water, and it sits in the water. And the latest one that I've just purchased that I haven't even tried yet is the brewer. And this is a drip method in which you put the coffee grounds, your water on the top, and it drips one drip at a time and fills the canister down below. So with that, we'll take a look, and let's take a look at each one of these. So for the immersion brew, I have this Tupperware immersion container. Works quite well. It is plastic, so some people might want the glass and be concerned with the plastic, but this has worked quite well for me. So what I want to do, I've got a cover, and this one has a pre-made metal filter, and you have a couple of options when using this. You can fill it with the grinds to this first solid line, and then when you fill it with water, you will get just a straight cold brew mixture. If you want and do a concentrate, you can fill it to the second line with your coffee grounds, fill it with the same amount of water, but you'll get more of a concentrate. But what I'm going to be doing is the first line to kind of align this with the other methods as I'm doing a comparison. So we're going to go through. I've already hand ground my coffee beans. I'm going to fill this up. We're going to pour some water in, and then we're going to take all of this, put it in the refrigerator for I'm going to do about 16 hours. And they say anywhere from 12 to 24 hours, so I think there's a wide range. I've found about 16 hours to be a good fit. And then we slowly pour water through the middle, which will soak the coffee grounds. And I want to fill this all the way up to this very top of the bottom of this black line. And there you go. So now we're going to put this in the refrigerator, and we're going to move on to the next one. And now we're going to move on to what is supposed to be a very quick way to do a cold brew. using my favorite method for making hot brewed coffee, which is the Aeropress. So I found this online, wanted to give it a try. And so what we're going to do, we're going to set up our Aeropress as you normally would. Filter, screw that on, put it onto here. They say to take one heaping scoop, as much as we can, one heaping scoop of your coffee grounds, and then fill it with tap water. Got to find the openings here. Just to the first one marker. Now mine is very well used, so the markers are worn off from the white, but the one level, so it's a very small amount. And then you stir it briskly for a minute before you press it. Here's our 1 minute. Doesn't look like too much came out of there afterwards. That looks really, really weak. We'll put this one in the fridge. And so there you have it. 3 methods for making cold brew coffee. And just to give you my thoughts on each one of these, what I liked, maybe what I didn't like, or not even so much that, but just the basics of them. So first and foremost, I love the Aeropress for hot coffee, but I have to admit, for cold brew, not going to be my choice. Doesn't mean it can't work, doesn't mean there aren't options out there. I've seen things you can attach to it to have it drip the water through, but I just wasn't that impressed, and it wasn't that enjoyable of an experience. I love using the Aeropress for hot coffee, but for some reason cold brew, the two just didn't go together. The immersion, so this was using the Tupperware. I like this. I've used this in the past, and what I found, very easy. Put the grounds in, pour water in it, put it in the refrigerator, and 12 to 24 hours later you have a decent amount of cold brew. You can make it straight, you can make it as a concentrate, and easy cleanup. And this one for me has really been a lot in the consistency in the type of coffee I get. So for good or bad, it doesn't seem to matter what coffee grounds I use. I've tried different types of coffee grounds, and for me, the immersion pretty much stays consistent. The flavor's about the same, not a big difference, doesn't really matter. Between 14 to 24 hours, I don't notice a lot of difference, so it's consistency. Can be a good thing, can be a bad thing if you want some different flavors, if that's not your favorite type of cold brew, but it's a method I'll continue to use. And then the cold drip. Never really tried cold drip. The brewer works. It is certainly finicky. You have to monitor it depending on the temperature of the water, how much water you're constantly adjusting it for the drip. But I'm okay with that. For me, that's part of the fun and the enjoyment of making coffee. That's why I like the Aeropress and grinding my own coffee for my hot coffee. This gives me a little bit more experimentation, trying different drip rates, different temperatures of the water. And I definitely noticed I've made so far 2 different coffee types with the brewer, and I got 2 totally different flavors. One was bitter. The one I used initially for the immersion, I used for the brewer. It's what I use for my hot coffee, and it came out bitter in the drip, which isn't what I was expecting from a cold brew process. But when I tried another coffee bean, it came out different. It wasn't bitter. It was a much better taste, much more flavor. So the brewer is what I'm going to continue using probably as my experimentation. So I hope this helped. Hope you enjoyed it. All of this is just my own perspective on these. Everybody has different tastes and different things they like and different things they want out of their cold brew. But this was just my take on it. If you enjoyed this, please give it a like. If you want to see more of this type of content, subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you next time.